Can you be too much of a good girl? I'm Kathy Bartilli from theintimacydojo.com, and I'm here with Marsha Baczynski for AskingWhatYouWant.com. And yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I grew up with that. The whole goal was to be good enough so people would love you and give you back what you needed.
Right. So you're like being good, not because you're good, but giving to get.
Yes.
Right.
Which is a creepy. I thought I was doing the right thing, but it was creepy.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think they're doing the right thing because it's really kind of everywhere in our culture, and people who were raised and socialized as girls, both from the larger culture and often within family dynamics. There's this just sense of just be good, like be smart but not too smart, be sexy but not too sexy.
Don't ask for
too much. Bend over backwards. Make sure everybody around you is happy. Volunteer for all the things. Give. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I was feeling kind of low or depleted, and I wanted a compliment, I would call, love that sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, that sweater's so pretty.
Yeah.
You're so smart in that.
Yeah.
And basically I'm giving more from a tank that's empty, which isn't really a nurturing kind of giving. And the other person can kind of, our primitive brain, our survival brain is really smart. It can tell, even if there's nothing overt, there's something going on. There's something hidden here.
Yeah.
And it's like designed to look for weapons or like manipulation.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
I don't feel really something's off. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I like the compliments, but And I was wondering why I never developed good relationships with people and why they can't guess. People can't guess what I want all the time.
Right.
Me complimenting you doesn't
tell you anything. And the world isn't made up of binaries. So if I say yes to this, it doesn't mean I'm going to get this other thing. It's not logical in other people's minds.
Right. It might be in mine.
It might be in yours, or it might be in mine, like when I'm playing that game with myself and with other people, but it's not clear to other people.
So you have a great program on this online. What are can you give us a couple hints? Like, what are some things people could work on that if they're struggling?
So the Good Girl Recovery Programs, of course, I've been running for about 4 years now. It's a 6-week course, and the very first thing I have everybody do is make a list of what they're tolerating.
Oh, wow, that's powerful.
Because we all tolerate. Even the most well-adjusted person tolerates dozens if not hundreds of things.
Life.
Right, humans' life, things are busy. We make compromises with ourselves, and then we forget that we made them. They're not a big deal when we make them, but then you carry that around for 2 years with all the other little compromises you make, and then it adds up to this big weight on your shoulders. So you're drained, you're depleted, you don't know why. You feel like you're overgiving, you don't know why. So we start with make a list of things you're tolerating, and then start to get them handled. Yeah.
I love that. that alone feels like it'd be daunting, but also really like enlightening and like, oh my God, I'm just putting up with this, and I never said anything.
Right. I just let that one slide, and I let that one slide because we don't want to. The good girl doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to upset people. And by the way, there are people who are raised and socialized as men.
Do the good
boys who do the good boy thing, and this is not to take away from that. I've just happened to notice this as a pattern among my clients, my female clients in particular, and it was something that I felt very called to do. And I get a lot of requests from guys who are like, "When are you going to do the nice guy recovery program?" And I'm thinking about that. So
no, I think a lot of us get caught in that trap. And you were talking about how we tolerate things, and we don't want to. I know I felt so depleted because I was always giving and hoping, and I would get like 10% return, and it wasn't because I wasn't saying, hey, I could use some compliments right now. Are you willing to give them to me? It was like I would try to hint and hope that you would reciprocate and guess what I wanted.
Totally.
And then I would feel so depleted, so it felt like I was just holding onto the edge of the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And so how could I possibly stand up and say no or say I don't want to do this anymore because I was barely holding on at all. But once I start clearing out some of that, I actually can stand and take care of myself better.
Yes.
And then it's not so hard. It's not so terrifying.
Yeah, totally. Yep, you're nailing it. That is exactly that's the archetype.
Yeah.
That is the archetype.
I've been practicing for 40, 50 years. Yeah, and I think I notice when I'm in that, playing that role, I don't get the same kind of respect or connection with people.
Right. So one of the things I always say is the opposite of a good girl is not a bad girl. It's a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
It's an adult with a lot of complexity and a lot of nuance, and she needs different things at different times, and it's not just simple. And so a lot of what we're doing in the Good Girl Recovery Program is figuring out how do you reconcile the messages you got about be polite, kind, always accommodating, and maybe you'll get what you need with I'm actually a lot bigger than that, and I need to take up space, and actually I'm not always polite, kind, nice, and maybe I'm still lovable anyway.
Yeah, we can have faults and
foibles and
make mistakes.
We're worth more than our self-sacrifice.
Yeah, I think the good girl, I mean, I don't know if you addressed this in the program or not, but the perfectionism, I felt like it was so flawed that I had to do everything right, and if I made a mistake, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm so sorry I was late.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, the traffic.
I'm so sorry. Oh,
yeah, either over-apologize or blame something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus just like be with, okay, I made a mistake.
I screwed up. And then that enables you to take accountability. When you start taking accountability, you have a lot more control over your life, right? Which is this positive feedback loop that isn't intuitive at first.
Yeah, it's actually a deflection. If you over apologize, you kind of push the other person away, and they've got to end up taking care of you. Versus they get to have their feelings about you making this mistake.
Exactly.
So, if someone wants to dig deeper and find out more about your recovery, which I think is an amazing idea,
you can go to goodgirlrecovery.com. There's actually a free ebook you can download, and it goes into the tolerations and for other clues that the good girl might be running your life secretly.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
If you have any questions or concerns, let us know below. We'd love to know what you're struggling with, how you might like to have help.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being here, Marcia.
Yeah, this is great.